Democratic vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris visited Wisconsin on her first solo campaign trip yesterday, meeting with black business leaders, touring an electrical worker union facility, and speaking with the family of Jacob Blake, including with Jacob himself by telephone. During Harris's time as a U.S. Senator, she often showcased her strength and acumen as a former prosecutor. But now on the trail, Harris is displaying the folksier side of herself, like in this new conversation that's just out between her and former President Barack Obama, released by the Biden campaign today.
The main thing to know about Joe is that Joe has never lost his sense of why we do this. Now, what that means is that if you have a joint event, he may be taking a little longer than what appears on the schedule, because he will be talking to every single person.
But I love that about him, too. Yeah. I really do. And it's what the people deserve. It's what they want. Folks want to be seen, and Joe sees people through those aviator glasses and without them. He really does see people.
Joining our conversation, Elena Beverly, the former National Deputy Director of African American Outreach for President Obama's 2008 campaign. Jason Johnson is back. Elena, I watched this video. I mean, this is sort of chicken soup for the Democratic voter's soul. This is a president they loved, a vice presidential pick they're very fond of, having a conversation about just how much Joe Biden loves his aviators. But it seems to me to be part of a pretty strategic rollout of Senator Harris. She did an interview with CNN's Dana Bash. She talked a lot about, and she talked with former President Obama there about how she stays in touch with her family. I mean, there is this weird ritual we have of, get to know the personal side of the vice presidential pick. That seems to be part of what she's doing, along with the other things that fall to a VP.
That's right, Nicole. I was smiling throughout that entire video, and that might be my third time watching it. However, what I really appreciated is that it is a new strategic play on retail politics. Given that we can't, in a pandemic, right, she can't go door to door and she can't have the one-on-ones, but she's amazing at retail politics. She's warm and charming and relatable. And so how better or how best to do this to try to have a one-on-one for the American public, other than by having her sit down with the former President Barack Obama, my forever boss, and just speak candidly and crack jokes and talk about what it's like to be on the campaign trail. So I thought it was a real, very, very bright strategic move on behalf of the campaign. But I also think it demonstrates a sort of a passing of the baton. It was a very hopeful discussion. It was a very optimistic discussion. It talked about what it is like to connect with people when you are on the campaign trail. And I think people are eager for that as well, for a sense that in addition to Biden-Harris having a policy plan, that they believe that America can be better and will be better. And lastly, my last point that I want to make is this video, I think, also demonstrates the third part of the trifecta that is Kamala Harris. We know that she can prosecute the case. We saw her in the rebuttal to the RNC, to the convention when Trump spoke. We know that she can go on the offensive, that she carries a very clear message, but that she is also relatable. And that's the trifecta for a vice presidential pick.
Jason, we don't know where this, I think I sort of share some of your cynicism about just how ugly this is going to get as the days unfold. But the truth is, the Trump campaign is struggling with how to brand Kamala Harris. And the more she gets out there, the more known you can only smear someone with a fact if they're unknown. The more known someone, and it's why they struggle with Joe Biden, because whether you like him or dislike him, he's largely known. The more sort of tracks that they can lay of the Kamala Harris story, the harder she will be to, smear and lie about and tell stories about. Where do you see sort of the political standoff between Senator Harris and whatever they're trying to do to her on the Trump campaign?
Yeah, Nicole, they failed to define Senator Harris during the Republican convention, right? You can't say that she's some crazy radical. Look at her, look at her husband, look at her background. Like, you can't say that Kamala Harris is going to come to the suburbs. Kamala already lives in the suburbs. She's your neighbor. You guys go to Lululemon together. Like, you can't make people afraid of her. So now, really, all the Democrats have to do is remind perhaps skeptical Democratic voters that she's a nice person. This whole exchange, look, I found it kind of hokey. I'm not the target market, but it was very meatloaf, mac and cheese, comfort food. It was them being very kind to each other because the Republicans, they cannot come up with a definition for her that works. And as long as they can't, she will continue to sort of spread her message of like, hey, I'm the competent young person here, and I can bring something to this campaign that other people haven't been able to do before. That's why I'm the great choice for VP.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.